Hi, my name is Bailey, and we're gonna just have some fun talking about some books. So, I am going to be doing my February recap and my March TBR, which is TBD at the moment. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to kind of go through the books that I read, and then also kind of give you, if you care, if not, just disregard it. Kind of give you like spice level of it, because by the end of this month, I kind of stopped caring about spice, and you'll see kind of as the books progressively get worse. Not, that's really rude. Not worse. Like, not worse as in like content, but spice. So I have my books right here, and I have my little reading journal that has all of my ratings, and I'll kind of just go through, and yeah, I'll also kind of give you a little synopsis of each of the books, just so we can kind of, so you can kind of know, and if you want to read them, go for it. So February, I did a lot of romance. By the end of it, I kind of wanted to not read romance again. But here we go. So the first one I read was Love and Lattes by Beth Reekles. I do not know how to say the last name, but basically it's set in London, and Anna, our main character, she has a internship at this really big company, and the first night they're kind of doing a kind of like a hangout. They are at the bar, and she meets this guy named Lloyd, and then they end up kissing and hanging out for the night, and then it was really nice, and come to find out it's the CEO's son, and it's kind of like them kind of hiding what happened, and that's kind of all I'll say. But it's very good. It's cute, and it had no spice really. There was like maybe one scene, that's literally it, and it wasn't like super like bad or anything like that. It was good, and there was, like I said, no spice, and I rated that a 3 stars. Doesn't mean it was bad, not at all, but that's just kind of my rating for it. Then I have like the little novella in the Powerless series, which is Powerful, and this follows Adina, which is Peyton's best friend, and it's kind of as Peyton is in the trials, and she meets Makota, I think that's how you say his name, and it's kind of them kind of forming a little bit of a relationship. This is my favorite series by far that I have ever read, and people say, like, I personally think it has like a little bit of like Hunger Games probably influence, which makes sense because she's around. Lauren Roberts is like, I'm assuming in her 20s. So that makes sense as to why. And I personally love that because Hunger Games is one of my favorite series. Like, it's my favorite, and then it's Powerless. And yeah, so the last my gosh, chapter of this book had me sobbing. I was sitting in my bed, literally sobbing. I'm so sorry if you hear my cat right now. I don't know what she's doing, but if you hear anything in the background, that's my cat. But yeah, I was sitting in my bed at like 1 a.m. sobbing over this book in the last chapter. Yeah, and I rated that 5 stars. Sorry. I love it. The next one I read, well, I didn't read, I listened to it on audiobook because I don't have the physical copy, is Iron Flame. I very late to the Empyrean series. I'm very late to the Empyrean series, but I'm very happy. I have come around and it is amazing. So yeah, I can't really explain too much because it is the second book, but I rated it 4 stars. It doesn't mean it's not good. Obviously, it's good. Obviously. We know there's spice in Iron Flame, so yeah. The next book I read, and this is where it just kind of goes from like, and like, I don't even know, fourth wing, like it is, but like when I read it, I like laugh. And these are just like, the next 2 books are very descriptive. So yeah. The next book I read was Flawless by Elsie Silver. So this is like the first book I've ever read by Elsie Silver, and the first cowboy romance that I've ever read, and very good, you know. Basically, I'll give a little synopsis and I'll kind of talk about like the spice level, I guess. So Rhett is a professional bull rider, and he kind of has gotten into some trouble with some of his sponsors, and his agent has his daughter Summer like hang out with him for like 2 months and like basically be with him every second of the day to kind of keep an eye on him so he doesn't do anything stupid. And it's kind of like enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine type of vibe. Very good. Like, yeah, I rated this one 4 stars, and there is a lot of spice, but it comes like, I want to say like half-ish way through the book. So there's that. Keep that in mind. I think once you kind of like know what you're getting into, because I kind of went in blind in a way, but it's really good. 10 out of 10 recommend. And I'm really excited to read more, and I'm really excited for, I don't know which one, but the one with Theo. Yeah, very excited to continue reading this series. The next one I read was Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and this book took me through a roller coaster. This is like 200 and how much actually is it? 280 pages, and it took me, I feel like, forever to get through this. Because I was just so frustrated. Before I get too into it, I didn't get like the paperback like story with like the like clock and everything, because this is just the prettiest book this is like the prettiest book I own, other than like I have a couple other ones that have like really pretty like sprayed edges and stuff like that, but like, oh my gosh, that's the front, the back, and like the sprayed edges, and then the darling with the, I don't know if she like did this like not did this, but like had the idea herself. So good, so good, so good, so good. So okay, let's talk about this book. There's a lot, I have a lot of words about this book. So the first, oh gosh, I want to say the first half of the book. The first half of this book, I was like, okay, what are we exactly doing here? So I didn't really, it's very confusing because I feel like I read a synopsis, and when I read the book, it was nothing like I imagined the synopsis. But let me tell you. So Hook, his name is not actually Hook. I don't really know how to explain this without telling you the story. So James, his is Hook, and he is like a mafia person. Almost, he's not mafia, but like that type of vibe. Like he runs like drugs underground in a bar kind of situation, and he has like a lot of stuff that happened to him in his past, and he wants basically to kill this dude Peter Michaels, which is like Peter Pan. So I thought this was a fairy tale retelling. So basically he wants to kill this dude Peter Michaels, which is like the Peter Pan, and his daughter Wendy is this like sweet, innocent, kind type of person. And basically Hook is a jerk for the first 50% of this book, and it makes me really mad that he's such a jerk. And he does a lot of things and says a lot of things and thinks a lot of things, and I'm like, really? And like, I get that he has like a lot of things that have happened to him, and he has like really, like, he's never had anyone truly love him. But he does a lot of things that make me really mad. And what I like about this book is I did not get mad at the female main character. I don't usually, but this book had the potential for me to get mad at the female main character if she did some things, and she didn't. So this was there was a lot of spice, a lot of spice in this book. So that's kind of where I was like, you know what? Oh well. And I rated that book a 3-star. And yeah, I think I rated it that way because I got so mad at James. There's so many reasons. But I was like really mad at him, and then also the spice was not my favorite. So that's kind of And I feel really bad judging it based off of spice, but yeah, that's that. Now what I'm going to be doing is my March TBR. So I only have 3 books on here. I'm not going to only be reading 3 books. So I have Sunrise on the Reaping. I will be reading that, or at least acquiring the book this month when it comes out. And then I have Beartown by Frederick Bachman, which I'm so pumped. I've heard so many good things about this book and the series. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I did kind of start it. But I'm only on page 6. And this I'm not 100% sure, just because it is so big and I don't want to overdo it with 2 really large fantasy books. I have Onyx Storm, and I only have read to page 6 in this as well. I just don't know, because it is very large, and we'll see. We'll keep this on my TBR. I'm just worried that I'm not going to be able to read that and Sunrise on the Reaping, which is the new Hunger Games book. I'm so excited. The next one I have here. I don't know what I have on here. Yeah, those are the only ones that I have on my TBR. So I am currently listening to the audiobook of A Court of Wings and Ruin. And I am on chapter 20, like kind of towards the end. So I really want to finish that. And then my friends and I also want to buddy read The Boyfriend, which I'm super excited about. And I have The Wings and Ruin on my Kindle, like as like a library book, and then I also have The Boyfriend on my Kindle as well. So I have on my TBR, I have The Sunrise on the Reaping, Beartown, and Onyx Storm. But I also am reading A Court of Wings and Ruin and The Boyfriend. But I have soft DNF this book for so long, and I just kind of want to finish it because I'm so over it. Icebreaker. I'm so sorry. I hate being like this, but she makes me so angry. Like, oh my goodness, yeah. I soft DNF this. I like will read it and then I'll soft DNF it and then I'll read it and then I'll pause and read and then pause. I am on page 146 or 147, one of the 2. So I have like 6 books on my TBR, and if I do finish those, I will consider myself a legend because of myself. Because this last month was like the most I have read, like, ever. I am not really a reader, or I haven't been. Last year I really started reading. I don't even know when really, but like I really started reading last year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you in the next video, and thank you so much for being here today.